My HGV Insurance is proud to sponsor Trucking TV. Let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.
Welcome to Tracking TV's Sunday night special for Sunday the 26th of February 2017. My name's Chris Gosling. We've got some interesting stuff tonight. The ongoing campaign from Truckers Toilets UK, a question for you about this site and Tracking TV's pages, and more. If you've got points to make about anything that's said or reported here, then it's easy to have your say. You can comment on Facebook, or you can text or leave a spoken message on our call-in phone number. That's 07393 588 127, and we'll be glad to publish what you have to say. First up tonight, a story about someone who's on the truck driver's side in a battle to get equal rights. Equal toilet rights, that is. Jill Kemp runs a campaign and a Facebook page called Truckers Toilets UK, and we spoke to her about 6 weeks ago when she and a friendly lawyer came up with final proof that lorry drivers have a right to use toilets and should be provided with proper facilities in every place they deliver to or collect from. It's quite a long interview with Jill today, but there's a lot of useful information there. Tell us what's happening now, Jill.
Well, we have got the formal documents, which I've been sending out to drivers who've requested it, and it's also on our Facebook page, Truckers Toilets UK. It's been received overall very well. Some people have found that they are allowed access to toilets now, but they have to be escorted, and they feel that's beneath their dignity. But I have gently pointed out that in companies that I visit myself, I have to be escorted too, and so it's not just drivers, it's just at least you get access to a loo is what I'm saying, so that was quite good. But another problem that has arisen is the long wait in the cab. I'm going to have to look at that, because when they arrive, I understand that some RDCs they have to stay in the cab for a long time. But one company I got in touch with said, "Oh, just tell us and we'll, again, escort the driver to a loo." So there's some issues there that need to be addressed, basically. But I'm still I'm now getting more information about refusals, which is very helpful, and so I've written to companies. Some I'm still waiting a reply, but a couple have returned, have answered and been quite positive, which is a good progress, I think. I think that so. The two main issues are to continue looking at the refusals and getting in touch and gently reminding the companies. There's no good going in all guns blazing. You have to. I think it's a softly approach in the first instance to get the issue addressed. But then there's also the maintenance issue. The drivers might be allowed to access the loos, but when they actually get there, they're not in a good state. So that is another issue to be addressed. I mean, it's sort of like a rolling scenario, I think. We've had, as I say, we've had a lot of requests for the legal document, but there's also access to drivers' facilities, which in partnership, Unite started it in partnership with Truckers Toilets UK, which is available. It's called Access Facilities, a Driver's Guide. It's a little booklet which I'm happy to send to anyone who would like a copy. It has to go by post. I don't have it as a PDF. But I'm quite happy to send out. I've sent out quite a few already, and they've been well received. So that's good. And I think that's where we're at the moment. I would like to know what drivers think of the documents, the little booklet, and also the legal requirements. I have had one comment about the document that it didn't have anything official on it, like Truckers Toilets UK name or anything like that. It's just the information to the company for the actual legal requirements. It names the various acts and so on and the clauses. So I'm considering the best way to improve that, to make it more sort of official, if you like. So that's where we're at.
Okay, that sounds as if you're making good progress. Anyway, Jill, one of the things that I was impressed with when we spoke before was that you seem to have got or have built good contacts with people in government and people who actually run things and make things happen. Can they help you more than they're doing?
I think, well, they're there in the background, and I think if I needed help, they would try and do their best to support. Right. I'm in touch with my local MP, who's quite supportive in a verbal sense, but saying that, he has actually made contact with various ministers on my behalf, which has been very helpful. And yes, I'm in touch with the Department for Transport, and Unite have been particularly helpful with this, and also my contact at the Road Haulage Association. I've heard nothing from the freight, the FTA, yes, the Freight Transport Association. I haven't heard anything from them, but those three bodies in particular, the RHA, the Department for Transport and Unite, have been particularly supportive and proactive on this.
One thing I wanted to ask you was about drivers and companies and organisations within the driving field. Could drivers and their companies help by contacting MPs and other people? Would that help?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I'm not a driver, so I don't really know all the circumstances in which they find themselves. So yes, I mean, if it comes from the driver, I think it's better than coming from a non-driver or somebody like myself.
Right.
Yeah, who's not really involved with that sort of work at all.
What would you suggest they do? Would you suggest writing to your MP? We've always looked at writing to your MP as being something that goes in the bin when it gets to the MP, but how do you make it strong?
I think if enough people wrote to their MP and mentioned Truckers Toilets UK, because the Transport Minister of the State for Transport does know about Truckers Toilets UK and has taken the minimum standards on board. So if it mentions that legal requirements have been addressed now, and then they go on to say what they want to say to their MP. I think that's a good way forward. Write to anybody and get employers. If the employers find that their drivers are being refused access to toilet, their employers should, in fact, already be liaising with the companies that the drivers visit to ensure that facilities are available.
We talked also about health and safety and the health and safety executive. Is there any way they will ever make this requirement a legal requirement upon the companies? We know it's a real legal requirement, but what I mean is, will at some point they put this into some form of rules or some form of law?
Well, I think they have done that in their documents.
Right.
It's just the question that we had to draw out. It's not. You can't just go to an HSE page and find it. That's the problem. Finding the actual clause and act, it's been quite a task. So, but now it's all together in one place. There's HSE should be behind it because it's from their documents.
Okay. All right. So where do we go from here? You're going to essentially keep bashing on.
I am indeed. And I'm very pleased. I've just looked at Twitter this morning, and there are a couple of people there who are actually starting to write letters and getting results, which is fantastic. Really good, really good. It takes the pressure off me a bit.
Excellent. Okay, Jill, that's lovely. We'll come back to you in a few months and make sure life is going ahead well, and make sure you're getting good action on drivers' toilets.
That's great. Thank you very much, Chris.
If you've got any questions, if you want to get hold of the documents mentioned in the interview, you can make direct contact with Jill Kemp on the Truckers Toilets UK Facebook page. She is also keen to hear from drivers, male or female, who have been refused the use of a toilet. Get in touch with her soon and she'll get into action to resolve your problem. Now, here's a question for you. Who should Trucking TV be talking to? The other day, I had a small discussion about the use of extreme language on our page. We're all grown up, but there are 2 or 3 words that I really don't want to see on pages that we're responsible for. In the end, the poster said, "Oh dear, I didn't know this page was for children." It made me think a lot, and I'd like your comments. I think that I'd like to avoid Trucking TV becoming what I guess you'd call a driver's ghetto, where drivers just talk to drivers and any language goes. I'd like it to be a place where drivers talk to the whole world out there, especially to the people, most of the public in fact, who rely on truckers for everything they buy in the shops but don't actually understand that fact. I'd like it to become a place where people can go to find out what drivers actually do and how the industry works from a driver's viewpoint. And yes, where school kids and young people can go to learn about driving as a career choice and discover that without trucks and truckers, there won't be anything on the table for tea. What do you think? I'm not going to promise to change anything, but I do want to know if you like what we do and if you like what you see on Trucking TV and what you think we might be able to do better. Get in touch. Finally, here's a little picture story for people who'd like one. Northern Ireland haulier J. Adams Transport and Sons have just taken on this new MAN TGX. It was also the first deal struck by new MAN sales executive Mark Lennox since he joined the firm from a career in the automotive industry. Company boss John Adams said the demonstrator seemed to have gone down well with the drivers, but it wasn't until I drove it to return it to MAN that I realised what a good drive it was and decided I was definitely interested in adding one to the fleet. One of our contracts sees us doing runs across the mainland and travelling to and from Carlisle and Cumbernauld as often as 3 times a week. The MAN TGX is used on those routes because of the contract hire package we've secured. It helps us to know exactly how much we're going to be paying each month. John added the driver who makes these runs has also praised the comfort of the cabs. In fact, he's said that he had the best night's sleep in the MAN cab than he's had in any other. And that's Trucking TV's Sunday night special for this week. We'll have more news and video online during the week, and our Wednesday night special will be online at about 6 p.m. on the 1st of March. See you then.
Why not give us a call on 0161 410 1061 when you're arranging your HGV insurance, or visit our website at www.myhgvinsurance.co.uk or our Facebook page at HGV Insurance, and let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.